So it was that the brave wayfarers arrived at last at Dream's End. In following their path walked and history written, I am made keenly aware of one truth. Though the curtains may fall again and again, so long as others take the stage, ever shall there be more tales to tell. So, let them bring it to a close, I say. Let the curtains fall upon this, the final chapter in the tale of the star.
Sea of Stars, Ultima Thule. The edge of creation, the end of the universe.
A dead star?
As I live and breathe, I live and breathe! Well, the environment itself shouldn't kill us.
Well then, let us search for Thancred while exploring the area. The ship we leave in your care.
I can't guarantee you'll be of help in these strange surrounds, but I've ready the provisions note in case of emergency. Of course, if you encounter any real danger here, I expect you return to the Ragnarok at once.
Oh great, now even the quest text is getting corrupted. Well, fortunate this place can support life. Albeit barely, I suspect, given the torpid, stale quality of the air. But never mind that, we must first find Thancred. Let's begin our search from the prow of the ship. Seems as good as a direction as any. Try not to stray too far lest we lose sight of one another. Ruins. But of what, I wonder? Perhaps we can find something to help us understand the nature of this place. A relic, an inscription, anything. Look here. This part is relatively intact. The intricate design at the top suggests it was man-made, though its builders were surely not men as we conceive of them. Having said that, I swear I have seen this pattern before. The metallic pillar has been partially melted, likely sometime in the distant past. The damage does not appear to have been inflicted deliberately, rather it calls to mind the indiscriminate destruction often wrought in the heat of battle. I thought this hill might afford a better view of our surroundings. A poor decision in hindsight. Besides, the life on the ship all is shrouded in darkness. If Thancred is here, I'd never know it. From what I can tell, we are near the edge of an island, if you can call it that, surrounded by floating debris. Were you able to find anything? As I feared, and still no trace of Thancred. There's nothing but emptiness as far as the eye can see, which unfortunately isn't very far. But I can't help but suspect that someone or something is here. There are times when I sense it drawing close, and a chill washes over me, leaving me exhausted. Leaving me feelings of death and anguish. I think I might see something over there. It's a dragon. What are you talking about? There's nothing there. Before we jump to any conclusions, perhaps we should search elsewhere. Agreed. We find only more questions when we are in desperate need of answers. There's a fair stretch of terrain from the ship's port side we've yet to explore. Let us try searching there then. Green, a word, before we join the others. You see them too, don't you? The dragons. As I thought. Their presence is tenuous at best, but there's no mistaking it. No doubt your bond with Midgar Sommer and mine with Nidhogg is what allows us to perceive them. Could these apparitions be related to the dragons that now live on Aetheris? Bah, better to leave such conjectures to the others. In any case, we must be careful. We may soon find dragons they can see as well. Death and anguish. What happened to them, I wonder? Just in a place of pure despair, and you see someone flying by with a spinning tortoise.
Nothing can cause more despair than that. Or the bed mount.
Or the bed mount, or the whale.
I don't think the whale causes despair.
Dragons? Here?
What you see is a memory of a world that once was. A world suffering a slow death, whose denizens cried out for the release of oblivion.
What? Their world is dead?
It is. Not a single life remains upon that husk floating in the vast emptiness. These creatures are shadow and shade, perpetuated only to suffuse dynamis with their unending lamentations.
Our friend Thancred. Where is he?
A strange question. He is at your side, is he not? Oh yes. He is here and there, and everywhere within this space. He would tell you himself if he had form to form words. Huh. Such loathing and uncertainty. You don't know why you still exist, in like manner to the oblivion I send. I tried to drown out your ether with dynamis. Beginning with this Thancred, who came at me despite being unable to breathe. Such a simple thing, unmaking men. In the blinking of an eye, he was gone. Didn't even have the chance to be transformed. Yet somehow, he managed to leave a slither of himself behind. What you call the heart? Or perhaps the soul. In his final moment, he cried out from it. A single word. Survive. That wish proved stronger than the despair that ruled here. It overpowered it, causing this space to be remade. Into a place you can perceive, and where life can endure. That you draw breath is proof that his soul lives on. For how long, however, remains to be seen.
Well then, we should hurry and tend to business.
It's futile. You will never reach the true me. I told you, emotions dictate reality in this space. Such changes as you might work will not alter its nature. You may see, but you cannot touch. Walk, but not advance.
Meteon holds too much sway here. How do we contend with a foe who can unmake us on a whim?
I do not know. But Thancred gave his life that we might come this far. We must press on.
Agreed. We cannot turn tail here. Not without something to show for our comrade's sacrifice.
Soul without body, a form of being with which we are now wholly unfamiliar. Indeed, for we existed in a similar state when residing in the first. The circumstances are rather more dire than that, 'tis true, but I choose to believe he is not forever lost to us.
Especially since we got our soul crystal thingy as human viewed.
Maybe we can feel him back into existence.
Yeah, that's pretty sure that was the whole point of that.
Yeah. Regardless, in sacrifice, he had afforded us a chance to prevail. Let us not squander it and ascertain the nature of this realm that we might confront and defeat Meteon. Estinian, Green, would you accompany me in speaking with these dragons? Mayhap they can enlighten us. I would ask the rest of you to survey these surrounds. If there is a path that may lead us to our quarry, we must find it. Very well. We can reconvene here when everyone has finished. Meteon said these dragons are shadow and shade, from a world whose denizens sought oblivion. As such, they're not like to be amenable to company, let alone conversation, so please, be careful. Let us split up and gather what knowledge we may. A visitor, not the star. Did thy slender hands bring plague to our world? Thy breath extinguished life's feeble frame. Oh, how we would adore thee, alas. With time our flesh shall wither, our souls fade, and so we wait for its inexorable march unto oblivion. If thou art not come to hasten our demise, I bid thee leave us. We crave not companionship, only silence. Beyond that distant veil, paradise lost, so glorious, so beautiful. We were a proud and noble race, strength embodied, knew only love before they came. Metal monstrosities of black and silver, no bonds of blood did they share, nor conviction did they have to guide them. A crushing defeat, never had we known such shame. Still now are the winds, though none could fill these wings burdened by ignominy. We fly no more, only sink into oblivion. Would thou wouldst bid me speak? Folly. I observe the list of stone. I shall not fly, nor speak, nor roar, only watch, and wait, and end. But one sight yet stirreth my blood, tempted me to raise my voice in lamentation. Knoll, the cradle of unsung dragons. No words, no songs are possessed of the weight to describe such tragedy. Go if that be thy will, I shall remain. They led you here as well, did they? Yeah, it was described to me as a source of their woes and proof of their end. I think I'm beginning to see why. It's a hatching ground, or was. I've seen similar on Aetheres. Midgar Sommer's kind must have lived and thrived in a place such as this. Ritra said his father was driven from their ancestral home by war and strife. This, then, is the fate of those who remained. Let's have a look around. Maybe these eggs have more to tell of what happened here.
Inside the shattered egg, you find the remains of an unborn dragon. The body has already begun to decompose. The gelatinous, half-dry membrane covering the corpse suggests it failed to emerge. Murky liquid has pooled inside this eggshell. The noxious feutor is indicative of contamination. Gingerly lifting a large egg from the viscous mire, you peer inside and see a formless mass soaking the pool of embryonic fluid. Your stomach turns as you return the eggs to its resting place. This egg appears to have been broken from the inside out. Perhaps the dragonet within succeeded in hatching.
What's this? I thought all the eggs had been ruined. If the dragonet was indeed hatched, there is no sign of it here, or its sire for that matter. We should look for them. You start with the cliff tops and I'll search the plains. Boisterous howling hath been quieted. By thy hand, I presume. Everything all right? I thought I heard a dragon or something resembling one. Ah, I see what's happened here. Was that your child? Perhaps. Some eggs within Knoll are indeed mine. If life within one did quicken, the beast thou had slain may be of my blood. Yet I do not recognize it, twisted and malformed as it is. Not a dragon in truth, the reminder of our failure. a testament to our shame. Explain. They descended from the heavens, cold, heartless machines, and with them rode war and death. With fire and fury, rage and rancor we gave answer. It was a long and bloody battle, but only the beginning. Untold chaos and destruction swept over the star. In the end, the invaders were victorious. Yet when they looked upon their prize, they deemed it unfit for requisition. They were abandoned to our ruin. The survivors ought to put away their shame, to rebuild, a futile effort. In purest soil replete with aether did we once cultivate our nesting grounds, but our lands were barren. Any eggs nurtured in such desolation were fated to rot. What few survive had to hatch emerge as abominations. We shall have no new progeny. But there are dragons among you capable of journeying to other stars. That there are. Many would make the attempt, each bearing a clutch of eggs. The richest stars were home to the harshest rulers. The arrival of dragons incited contests for supremacy. When the fires faded, the wars lost and won. They too were reduced to ash and waste. It's a curse of those who seek life, to be drawn into conflict, to conquer or be conquered. A vicious cycle we now choose to break. We tire of conflict, of everything. We await now in sweet, merciful silence, free from strife and suffering, still as stone. Wait! You claim your kind is doomed, but there is another star. They want only to brood in silence, to be left alone with their grief until time itself comes to an end. The soul rewards the senseless bloodshed, a pain I understand and wish that I did not. What fools we were. But now isn't the time for such thoughts. Others will want to hear what we've learned. Come.
Were you able to establish any meaningful contact with the dragons? I see. They wish to escape what they perceive to be a cycle of conflict. Thank you, Green. Estinian. As for our part, I believe we are more acutely aware of our confines than before. We started by traversing the perimeter of the island to see if there might be a path leading off of it. Sadly, there was nothing to be found.
There's no small amount of debris floating about. Could there be enough to serve as a bridge to lead us elsewhere?
I considered that, so I tried throwing a stone onto a potential platform to judge its integrity. But it never reached its mark. As it crossed an invisible threshold just beyond the boundaries of this island, it vanished, only to reappear before me and fall at my feet. I would not be too quick to presume that we could see outside the space as it appears.
which is why I returned to the Ragnarok and asked the Lopris to search for a potential path. However, the ship's instruments failed to provide conclusive data on the surrounding area. Until we know more, I think it too risky to attempt flying to another island. What Meteion told us before, that emotions dictate reality here, might be the key, but I'm not entirely sure what emotion might manifest a bridge to lead us to safety. So what you're saying is we've no way forward. At present, aye. If it is indeed emotion that governs this island, perhaps it is not Meteion's, but the dragons that hold us here. They tire of conflict, and had chosen a path of oblivion to escape it. Or rather, they had chosen no path at all, meaning there is no way for the dragons or anyone here on this island to advance. A sound theory, disheartening though as it may be. If that is the case, what recourse do we have? They are not like to be persuaded to help us. Their reasoning is built on a history of turmoil and strife, without irrefutable proof that the future is not as bleak as they believe it to be. Mayhap persuasion is not the answer. Meteion meant to unmake us then and there on the Ragnarok, and she would have succeeded if not for Thancred's determination. She conceded it was strong enough to overpower the despair that otherwise rules Ultima Thule, and reshape it to a degree. Perhaps it can be done again in like manner, by overpowering the prevailing emotions. "'Twas Ultima Thule's architect Meteion herself against whom Thancred did pit himself in a clash of wills. Though I mock no leader among them as such, I did chance encounter a dragon possessed of despair far more potent than most. Potent enough mayhap to take the calls for others, and thus their domain to follow. He spoke but a few words carefully chosen, their tone and temper alone threatening to rend my heart in twain, challenging his desire to remain allow us to alter the island upon which we stand. Alas, I fear my vaunted rhetoric availed me naught against his calcifying heart, but mayhap one of you will fare better." "Then I shall guide thee. Al End, as they call him in the dragon tongue. I will find him nearby, eyes fixed upon the water." Well, what are we to lose? Let's get going.
He remaineth as he was when I first approached, entombed in melancholy.
I see. Perhaps I could...
I'll handle this.
So, waiting to die like all the others, are you? So you say. Yet your kind has found a new beginning on our star. One of you braved the Expanse, bearing with him a clutch of eggs. They and their children now rule our skies, their song heard by all. They were. They suffered much, and repaid their suffering in kind. Had your brethren made the selfsame choice, my family might still be alive. Yet lasting peace does not come to those who simply retreat from conflict. No, you must be willing to confront it, to stare into the face of your foe, and see yourself in him. Only then can you break the cycle of torment and tragedy. This lesson, a dear friend taught me at the risk of his life. There is no nobility in your penance. You wallow in self-pity. And after everything we've endured, we will not let you stop us.
Estinian!
Stay back! That bars our way. The rest is up to you.
No! Not Estinian too!
There's a wind.
He's opened the way for us. Sacrificed himself to remake this place, like Thancred did.
Oh, Alphino.
Come. Let us follow the wind. It will not lead us astray. He would not.
Look there! The wind! This is Estinian's doing. I'm sure of it. We should ride its flow and see where it leads. Powerful gales delivered you onto another island. The other scion should arrive before long. He did it. He found a way forward for us. The dragons remain trapped within a prison of their own making, lamenting the horrors of war. Yet Estinian knew them better than most. He was a man of honor and a dear friend, willing to fight for the very end for what he believed was right. And he's still fighting, Alphinaud, just like Thancred. Their sacrifices are why we can survive here, why we still have a chance to stop her. Even in spirit, they're unwilling to give in to despair, and we mustn't either. Alice is right. We must press on, for their sake.